Okay, y'all, welcome back to another edition of Musings. Today we're going to chat about Book 1 of Confessions. Book 1 is Chapter 1 in this book of books, this book of chapters. So let's just dive in. For each of these videos, I think I want to just see what ChatGPT has to say about all this, and then we'll go into my own musings. But here's what we're looking at. ChatGPT, I said, summarize Book 1 of Augustine's Confessions. So let's see what the verdict is. Book 1 introduces the reader to his life and journey. Key themes: praise of God. This will keep coming back every single video, and I think this is the biggest takeaway is everything Augustine writes has this undercurrent of epic humility, and it's the humility of everything he talks about is for the sake of praising God. You confess through the act of confession. You're praising the Lord. That's the redemption of the shame and the negative pieces associated with confession. Is that good things come from it when done properly. So praise of God. Reflection on early life. So each of these books is kind of chronological. So book 1 is his early childhood days. Sinfulness and ignorance. Of course, he's reflecting on where he's failed. So God's guidance. Critique of worldly education. This is what resonates a bit with me. I think looking back now, I'm in my 30s, but when I went through the schooling system, I don't know. There's something in me that says like I either was like taught what to believe that I don't know that I was like prepared for, or maybe that it was the half-truth presented as the whole truth. And of course the calm from all this is knowing that Augustine spotted this many years ago. So okay, conclusion. Book 1. Augustine sets the tones for the rest of Confessions, intertwining his story with God's grace, human weakness, and the restless longing of the soul for God. The main quote that's repeated time and time again is, "My heart is restless until it rests in you, O Lord." Powerful. So let's dive in. These are my favorite snippets. I've highlighted these in my app. Augustine's words: I was forced to learn the wanderings of Aeneas, forgetful of my own wanderings. I was forced to weep for dead Dido because she killed herself for love. Why is he saying this? He's saying that he was forced to learn other people's wanderings. He was forced to cry for other people. He goes on to say, for what more miserable than a miserable being who commiserates not himself? He's saying he's already miserable. He's forced to miserate for other people. Weeping the death of Dido for love to Aeneas, but weeping not his own death for want of love to you. Oh God. Oh. You, the light of my heart, the bread of my inner soul, your power who gives vigor to my mind, who quickens my thoughts. I loved you not. I committed fornication against thee. And all around me thus fornicating there echoed, well done, for the friendship of this world is fornication against thee. A moment ago, ChatGPT said the number one theme was praise of God. The epic humility of, not only is he saying, hey, I sinned and missed, it's, I missed so badly that I was basically committing fornication against you. And even worse, I was being cheered on, people saying, well done. The world was applauding me for missing. It's like rubbing salt in the wound. He's like, not only was I forced to do the wrong thing, I was celebrated for it. And he's saying, wow. And he's saying, not just that, it's, I could have been doing this to worship you. Powerful. So already a little distrustful of what he was exposed to in learning. Okay, next part. Hear, Lord, my prayer. Let not my soul faint under your discipline, nor let me faint in confessing unto you all thy mercies, whereby you have drawn me out of all my most evil ways, that you might become a delight to me above all the learnings which I once pursued. He's saying, get it all out. I want to get it all out, leave nothing behind. I'm going to make this as thorough as possible. May most entirely love you and clasp your hand with all my affections, and you may rescue me from every temptation, even unto the end. He's granting complete and total surrender. I'm reading a book called How to Find Peace from, I'll find his name. I'll publish the book at some point in the comments here, but he talks about the number one way to secure your peace is just put it all on the Lord. Complete and total surrender. It's exactly what Augustine's doing here. He says, for you did grant me discipline while I was learning vanities. In my sin, which was delighting in those vanities, you have forgiven. In them indeed I learnt many a useful word, but these may be well learned and things not vain. That is the safe path for the steps of youth. He's saying the one silver lining was he learned useful words, but he's regretting that. Why did he have to learn those words? By being forced to be sad for Dido and Aeneas, when he could have been reading things that more directly praise the Lord, like Scripture or Psalms or other good things. Why use a bad example to teach you a good thing when there's so many good examples? So he feels a little broken. More, not one whit more easily are the words learnt for all this vileness, but by their means the vileness is committed with less shame. Not that I blame the words, being as it were choice and precious vessels, but that wine of error which is drunk to us in them by intoxicated teachers. He's calling his teachers intoxicated with these words. And if we too drink not, we are beaten and have no sober judge to whom we may appeal. This is what I feel this. I feel this. When I was 20 and I was in a college course and I felt ideas being pushed on me without what Augustine calls the sober judge to whom we may appeal. I wonder how many of our viewers feel this way. Yet, oh my God, in his presence, I now without hurt may remember this. All this unhappily I learnt willingly with great delight, and for this was pronounced a hopeful boy. He's saying that he was pronounced a hopeful boy. He was looked on as someone with great potential, great value for the world. And he even took great delight in it because he was being praised and being pronounced as a hopeful boy. But yet he knew something was off. It's amazing our God-given intuition in times like that. Where was I, and how far was I exiled from the delights of your house? Okay, this is book 2. We'll save that for the next video. Last one for book 1. And there is nothing else whereon to exercise my wit and tongue. Your praises, Lord, your praises might have stayed yet the yet tender shoot of my heart by the prop of the Scriptures, so had it not trailed away amid these empty trifles of defiled prey for the fowls of the air. For in more ways than one do men sacrifice to the rebellious angels. In more ways than one do men sacrifice to the rebellious angels. A sobering reminder that there are more ways than one to miss the mark. And perhaps the ones that feel most common in the times of the day are not exhaustive. For more ways than one do men sacrifice to the rebellious angels. Earlier saying that he fornicated against the Lord. The language he uses here is so powerful. Really looking to convey just the strength, the power of his emotions. And it feels like it's in direct proportion to him contrasting it with his love for the Lord. He's saying, I love the Lord so much, and this is how far I missed. It's this great duality, the tension there. You can just feel the tension. He's turning that great shame and that great pain into how much he loves the Lord and praising the Lord of what the right answer should have been. Really powerful. It's never too late. The Lord's mercies are endless. Grace is something unearned and always present. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. This is book 1. thank you for listening. We'll dive into book 2 next time. See you then.